Hi guys, welcome back to Snakes and Adders. This is another educational video. Today we're going to try and take you through some of the terminology used in herpetology, herpetoculture. What does it all mean? You know, it can be a confusing place. Maybe you're researching your first animal, you've joined a Facebook group, you've bought your first animal, you're continuing to research, you read stuff and it just doesn't make sense and you're too embarrassed to ask because people get flamed and get put down on groups all the time. So this is to try and help the rank beginner or the noob navigate what's going on, because it can be a funny old place. And the language, once it's explained, you'll go, okay, that makes sense. There'll be people out there that go, duh, this is obvious, what's the point? But yeah, this isn't for you. If you've got it, that's fine, you know, but there's plenty of people out there that struggle with it. What does this mean? What does that mean? So this is what we're going to do to try and help you. So, page number 1. 1.0. The funny shape with the tick going upwards, the black one here, is a male. So when you see a list with 1.0 or the weird Austin Powers sign, that's a boy. 0.1, therefore, and the circle with the cross beneath is female. 0.05. 0.0.5, there you go. An unsexed group of 5 animals. 1.2, a male and 2 girls, a trio. 2.1, 2 males and a girl, a reverse trio. 1.1.10, 1 sexed pair plus 10 unsexed animals. This would usually be seen with people selling parents with the babies. CB, captive bred. CH, captive hatched. CF, captive farmed, although a lot of people would contend that CF is the same as WC. WC, wild caught. LTC, open for debate, long-term captive. What creates a long-term captive? Some people say 6 months, some people say a year. It's down to them. 2019, this is the prefix that would come after CBCHCF, and it would tell us the year of birth or hatching, or presumed year of birth or hatching. So CB19, captive bred 2019. The next one that you're going to see. Now, 2 of these, potentially, you've not seen. Potentially. Which will be erythristic, melanistic. They don't crop up that much. But to be able to then explain what their opposite number is, we need to know what the first part is. So a melanistic animal is a predominantly black or dark animal. Amelanistic is an animal with no melanin. Hypomelanistic, an animal with reduced melanin. Erythristic, an animal that has excessive red pigment. Anerythristic, an animal with no red pigment. Anery. So this is what we abbreviate to. And then exanthic, an animal with no red or yellow pigment, very similar to anerythristic. But this tends to be seen in pythons predominantly. Another prefix that you will see on names is het. Heterozygous or heterozygotic. This means carrier of a gene. We see that more regularly than we see the next one, but if you're going to understand what het and heterozygous means, you need to understand what homozygous means. Homozygous is either the wild type or the colour form that was being carried when it's actually being shown. When it's being hidden and carried in secret, this is a het. Pos het, usually denoted as 50 or 66%, the likelihood of the gene being carried. Simple enough. So hopefully this is now starting people that have been reading lists or looking at things who are rank beginners who maybe think, oh, what the hell does this mean? You know, we abbreviate, we shorten, we change. So amelanistic, amel. Hypomelanistic, hypo. Anerythristic, anery. Okay? So these are the meanings of those words. Next. Now this one, you're probably not going to have seen some of these listed, but I thought that I would do this, the second part anyway, because it's going to take us through the life cycles of our animals. So people talk about neonates, they're talking about newborns. Juveniles, a young animal usually less than a year. Yearling, anything over a year. Subadult, an animal that's a half to 3/4 grown, but non-breeding size, beginning to put on the weight, starting to gain the mass. Adult, an animal of sexual maturity. Brumation, a inactivity due to excessive cold. So this isn't true hibernation, but everything slows down, metabolic rate, all the rest of it, and it's a period of inactivity. Aestivation, this is a term that you will come across in the discussion of ball pythons or royal pythons. This is inactivity due to excessive heat, and certain lizards that are day active in excessively hot regions of the world will also aestivate through the periods of the day or periods of time within a month. Copulation, the act of breeding or sex. Gestation, pregnancy. Oviposition, the true word for egg laying. Parturition, live birth. Or if an animal is parthenogenetic, it means that it can reproduce without the presence of a male. There are certain gecko species that you can buy that, such as mourning geckos, that are parthenogenic. So this example will come up if you keep things such as the mourning gecko. The next one, the one that confuses a lot of people, and I've only put a few, this is where you're going to help us, okay? So, the abbreviations, the initials, oh my god, they're annoying. Right, MBK, Mexican Black King. Cali, Californian King. VBB, Vietnamese Blue Beauty Snake. ETB, Emerald Tree Boa. ATB, Amazon Tree Boa. RTB, Red-tailed Boa. OBT, Orange Bitey Thing, which is actually a Nusambara Orange Baboon. So now I've given 3 examples at the bottom, which we're going to try and work our way through. CB03, captive bred 2003, 1.0, so a male. VBB, Vietnamese Blue Beauty Snake, 66% pos het, 66% possibly carrying the gene AMEL. AMEL's full word, amelanistic, an animal with no melanin. And then the price. Obviously, if we could get pos het albino Vietnamese Blue Beauties, no doubt they'd be worth a fortune, but we can't. It was just an example to show you, obviously. LTC, long-term captive, 0.1, female. Guyana RTB, Guyana Red-tailed Boa, and price. This one's highly unlikely to ever happen because we breed them in captivity, but I needed to use an example. CH, captive hatched, 19, 2019, 0.20, 20 unsexed MBK, Mexican Black Kings, £85 each. There are many more of these abbreviations, ATB, ETB, RTB, OBT, MBK. This is where you guys can come in. Any others that you know or terms that you want to add, please comment, add them, and we'll try and make a little glossary on the back of this video, and it can help people out, particularly the rank beginners amongst us. So what is it we're studying? What is it we're doing? So these are words that you will come across. Herpetology. That is the study of reptiles and amphibians as a science, including taxonomy, classification, and studying the wild. Herpetoculture is the breeding of reptiles and amphibians in captivity. Herpetofauna is the collective sense of a population of an area of study. So the herpetofauna of Mexico, herpetofauna of Great Britain, etc., etc. Herp, or I keep herps, an abbreviation of herpetology, or animals that fall within that remit. Herping, searching for reptiles and amphibians in their natural habitat. So this was just the beginning of the terms, and it's a quick fire thing. We're going to probably do some more, and I might start to try and maybe ramp it up and see if we can involve you with some of the scientific terms that go on, that maybe preclude you from being able to read the papers you want to read. You see it as daunting or challenging, and actually once we understand the language it makes perfect sense. It's just that scientists speak in a different way to us, so we can actually disseminate what they're saying and turn it into our layman's terms, and we can say, yeah, they're breeding rather than copulating, you know, or they're cage mates rather than conspecifics. Does it make sense? So this is the idea. You guys can help us with the abbreviations or any other terms, and what we're also going to do is revisit some of the more scientific ones at a later date. I hope that was of use. feel free to comment and to share if it's of use to you or you know somebody it might be of use to. We'll keep it coming with the educational videos. See you all soon, guys.